Good evening, greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP, greetings from the Institute of Global Professional IGP. Thank you all for joining us and staying with us till the end. Honorable knowledge seeker, today I am your host for the evening. My name is Bathun Dash. I am from Bangladesh. Dear knowledge seeker, I am proud to be associated with IGP. IGP is Social and ISRF International Educational and Training Institute. In last 3 years, we already served 35 million plus knowledge seeker from 100 plus countries. IGP is internationally recognized and globally accredited. We are connected to more than 450 plus profession and 4,500 plus organization. Institute of Global Professional is an education institute that provides social work globally recognized and reportable. We serve student community resource providing holistic social work and education. We believe that it's not effective to increase one skill just by holding formal education. So we provide effective training and consultation to generate profession generation all over the world. We distribute our services locally, nationally, internationally to students, job seeker, job holder, and also for learner, the respective campus location and distance learning platform. We are an occupational and dependable institute. RGP is one of the famous online institute from all over the world. Our vision is education is not a business product. It's a part of our human rights. Based on our vision, we are trying to reach all corners of the world for free webinar, seminar courses, our quiz competition, mentoring, and counseling, etc. On the other side, we are also trying to offer more than 100 premium services for free, like Create Own Portfolio website, Resume Builder, cover letter, motivational letter, and Wall Knowledge platform for gathering general knowledge, which can update all day. Kids learning game website, free course, convert sites, and many more. We help to empower you to learn to meet their expectation and dream and become highly skilled people. We implement several training program webinar and offline online courses for youth and learner by professional trainer, speaker, and coaches. Our sessions are conducted by globally renowned professionals to develop all kind of views and promote the education of their abilities and personality. Spreading knowledge is crucial for the institute of global professional. We believe that knowledge is love and light and vision. So we try to understand the needs of today's generation and will serve them with good research and practice method. We must have a genuine concern for the learner we present. More diversity, growth, and innovation are required to lead a session with professionalism, passion, and integrity. As you remember, are committed to offering effective base quality service and continual improvement so that individuals who seek information can improve their skill level and value. Before we move to the next, let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friends in the comment box. Your support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Before we move to the next, let me remind, don't forget to share, tag, and mention your friend in the comment box. The support is very valuable for us. Thank you. Moving to the next with your continuous support. We already completed 2018 webinar successfully. Moving to the next with your continuous support. We already completed 2018 webinar successfully. Dear IGP speaker, participant, and well-wisher, at this moment, this is a very important message for you all. We change and design our website www.eduigp.com. On this website, we have surprise for everyone. Hope you will be benefited. We already launched our new website where you can find all our previous activities together with lots of new features. But one strong point is that without an account logged in, you cannot enjoy our services. So create your account for once with proper information. Note that with proper information, you will enjoy feature. With mismatched data, you cannot do anything here. From now, you have to participate in live quiz competition on our website. We replace that. You have to join regular on our website. Now you can check all of our previous webinars with verified certificate. Now it's easier and time limited because after the session, we will not provide you any code for certification. You have to take part in one exam. For that, if you pass, you will receive your certificate. Otherwise, not. But you can take part in an exam unlimited till you pass. If you're an IGP speaker, you can download all your previous certificate, speakership certificate. If you're a host of IGP, you can download the certificate of gratitude. If you're an online live quiz competition winner, you can download the certificate of participation. If you're selected for lifetime membership, then you can download a certificate of lifetime membership easily. Besides this, if you participate in an award function, which organized combined support with IGP, you can download that also. You can instead prepare and download 18 test services certificate from our website within a minute. Certificate of Global Professional Membership, Certificate of Global Influence in the Pandemic, Certificate of Active Knowledge Seeker, Certificate of Social Activities in the Pandemic, Certificate of Achievement IGP Knowledge Seeking Campaign 2020, 2021, and 2022, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 1, Authentic Assessment in Teaching and Learning, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 2, Teaching with Foreign Language and Assessment, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 3, Digital Classroom Engagement Tools, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 4, Rapid Social Leadership and Management Skills, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 5, The New Trend in Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 6, Trend and Innovation in Mathematics Education, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 7, Research Comprehension Approach, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 8, Art and Teaching Special Program in the Art, Certificate of Participation Webinar Series 9, 21st Century Twin Teaching Mathematics, Certificate of IGP Corporate Ambassador, Certificate of IGP Campus Ambassador, which you can prepare and download within a minute. From now on, you can participate in 1,000 plus international level courses with verified certificate. Teaching tips for teacher, health tips for parents, health tips for teens, gamification tools for teacher. You can join IGP alumni. You can check out our previous services website for free and many more. Dear IGP well-wisher, we promised previously, but lack of technical problem, we're late sending you on time. This is a great opportunity to collect your previous condition. We solved all issue from our website. Now you can enroll, reset password, everything, and check your data for all webinar details. It's a cordial request to check all button and pages on our website. Should like and still be benefit. Thank you. But note that without an account logged in, you cannot enjoy our service. At present, we are going to start our 2019 webinar, which name is Picture Perfect of a True Educational Leader, Research Based. And today our speaker name is Dr. Georgie L. Mayordomo. He is from Philippines. Before I hand over this to our speaker, sir, must share a very little bit about him. Program Chair, Seed National University, Manila. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Now, very important moment for me to invite our speaker to IGP with his presentation. Hello, sir. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Sir, the stage is yours. You can start your presentation now.
Okay. Hello, good evening, everyone. So, I'm Dr. George Mayordomo from Manila. And hello to all the Filipino people who are here now. So, I guess we have all the educators around the world joining with us this evening. Okay, I'll be discussing to you the one of the researches which I actually conducted. This is some sort of a sharing of what I have done previously. So this research has been presented in the international presentation in Singapore last February, and this is also published in one of the prestigious publication of IA4. Okay, just last March 2023, 2023, March 29, I guess it's 2023, it was published. Okay, now since my talk tonight is about leadership, so let's have first to distinguish between a leader and a leadership. So we have here on our screen now, I hope that you can see my screen. A leader is a person. Yeah, we all know that. And leadership is a process. So when we are going to talk about leaders and leadership, these are two different terminologies that somehow intertwine with one another because of a particular similarities in terms of functions and distinction and other characteristics. Now, a leader is a person and leadership is a process. So, a leader may have designated position if we know that, right? So, we have the titles, we have like principals in the Philippines, coordinators, head teachers, we have the deans in the colleges and universities, we have the vice president, the president, and the rest of the VPs. These are actually the so-called leaders. And leadership is how these people that I mentioned able to practice and make their subordinates learn and empowered by them through their efforts. So that's we call now leadership. So a leader may focus on maintaining the status quo. Leadership involves taking risk and embracing change to achieve a desired outcome. So all leaders, I am the program chair of the English department of the National University of the Philippines main campus in Manila because we have 9 campuses all over the world or over the Philippines. So I'm staying in the main at the main campus of National University. Okay. And to continue, okay, so we have the qualities of a leader. So the first one, according to the research, a leader should be a problem solver. And that's very true because whatever conspired in his or her department, the leader should be the one to decide on how to resolve issues, on how to respond to problems, and how to do what should be done in order for everybody to be able to understand everything in such particular event. And a leader should also be committed. Yes, you have to be committed in all senses. You need to be there anytime whenever your people or your subordinates or your teachers would need you. Then the leader should be creative. Yes, you have to think creatively, like strategically thinker. That's the real leader. So you have to strategically think and decide on how to resolve problems and how to do the process inside your organization or your department. This is one way of making sure that everything in your office is in place. Like, for instance, in our cases, so the most issues that we have encountered during enrollment, naturally, the sequence of subject, irregular students, late enrollees, failing students, students who were not able to apply for scholarship, and students who were not able to comply with all the requirements of the course. So they were given a particular grade of INC or incomplete, and the registrar normally would not accept once the INC grade has reached 2 terms, or in some schools it's 1 year. So once they reach or they have lapsed already after a year, or in our case, we have 2 terms, then the registrar's office will not process the request of the student. And that would mean that the INC would have to resort to a grade of failure. Now, as a leader, as a program chair, I have to do a lot of things, decide quickly in order to help students. So I have to really make a very wise decision. How should I help student in that case? Because if we are going to just allow students to be failed, then we are not doing our part as leaders. We are not doing our part as program chairs or deans or whatever. So we have to do something to help the student to get a passing grade for that particular subject. And that's the work of a leader to decide. So we have to make a very crucial decision by writing a letter, explaining everything, addressing the letter to the VP for academics, and then course through the letter to the director of the registrar's office, explaining everything for the just to help the student. So that's the work of the leader. You cannot just sit down on your table and do anything and allow the students to be failed, because we all know that it's not just a fault of a student, but probably on our end we have also some fault there. So we have to first look at what happened. Yes, thank you, Kiangwi Isaya. Okay, from Kenya. Thank you so much. Then teachers or the leaders should also be very supportive. That's what I am saying now, no? So supportive in all aspects. So we have to support all the activities of our students, all the activities of our teachers. If our teachers would have to go to a postgraduate studies, then we have to support them. We have to help them talk to our school admin for them to be able to receive scholarship or to get support coming from the university. And a good leader should also have a quality of a reflective or decisive. We need to decide quickly on a particular situation. We cannot just tell them to just wait. So we have to do that. And aside from this, we have a lot of qualities that a leader should possess. Now, why I am saying this? Because I know that in particular workplace, particularly in school or in other organization, leaders should really play a very important role in making the organization realize its vision and mission. And the leader should always be a part of the decision making, and the leader should always be reaching to all his people, to all the subordinates. You cannot just, you know, um, allow people to not to contact you, not to reach you. You have to sometimes extend your hand, enjoy eating lunch with them, have coffee with them, and have probably a short discussion with them during the break period. So that's how you can reach, and you will eventually understand how these people under your management actually facing some sort of problems and issues. So you need to be with them. Okay? So a lot of qualities that a leader should possess, aside from the one we have mentioned. And later on, I have to show you, based on the findings of my study, what really conspired in terms of leadership competencies. Now, in as what I have mentioned in the workplace, people leave their jobs because of, not just because of the task or the work that they are performing or the job assigned to them, but normally people leave the job because of the boss, right? Because of the boss. there are leaders who are acting like not leaders. Leaders should not belittle their people. Leaders should not, uh, you know, um, shout at their people or reprimand the people in front of the other employees, but they have to call them and talk to them, explain what happened, and ask their opinion on something. But I know a lot of employees who leave their organizations because of a bad leader. And that's the one that I'm trying to look into this kind of study because I want to propose a kind of leadership model that should be used in our university. Okay? So, if your actions inspire others to dream more, learn more, do more, become more, you are considered to be as leader, according to John Quincy Adams. Or another one is, according to this, leadership is telling people what they want to hear or taking people where they need to be. Yes, this is very true because as leaders, you have to empower your people. You have to empower teachers under your management. You have to empower them to finish their masters, to go into further studies, to attend trainings and seminars. You cannot just monopolize everything, but you have to designate a lot of functions to your people for them to be able to be empowered. That's a true leader. Okay, leadership is one of the most profoundly complex and at the same time incredibly simple concept. Yeah, if we're going to look at the word leadership, it's very simple. Everybody could be a leader. Everybody could be on top. Everybody could act as CEO. Everybody could act as manager or coordinators or the dean once you are qualified. There are lots of doctors in education that happens to be a leader but acting like, acting not the one, or like not the one that should be as a leader. And probably these people, they are they should learn a lot from probably training, going to another phase of their education, go to training seminars, and even conducting studies or do research for them to be able to widen their knowledge. So regardless of whether you are a stay-at-home mom or the CEO of the multi-billion dollar organization, applying leadership principles in your life will help you become more successful, more influential, and higher level leaders. Yes, parents are leaders. We are leaders in our own little way. But if we are going to help ourselves to learn more and to listen to people, attend seminars, attend trainings, conduct research, and listen to other people, you could be the most successful leader that you can be. Because leadership is not does not happen overnight. It has to be coming from a very tedious training, a very tedious accomplishment like education, like conducting research and attending trainings and seminars, and probably reading a lot of books about leadership for you to be able to imbibe and be able to digest the leadership functions and leadership uh, s- characteristics that you can apply to your own life as a leader. Then John Maxwell said leadership is influence. So this is very true. Once you are given a chance to be a leader, your main purpose is to influence people, influence them in such a way that you empower them to become a leader themselves. Because leadership does not really, like in schools, we could not just stay there for the rest of our lives as program chair, as deans, as presidents, but we need to train people to replace us someday. Okay, so we have to empower them. We have to influence people, and we have to show to people that being a leader is is good. Being a leader is very influential. Being a leader is a very empowering, because some people I know, they are afraid to be the leader of a particular organization. Even our students, they don't like to be the leader of the group because there is what we call responsibility in that position. So we have to really empower them that being a leader is something that they have to be proud of. Being a leader is a step of becoming somebody and a step in realizing their goals in life. And once they are given a chance to be a leader, they have to grab that, okay, for because it's just once in a lifetime that somebody would have to offer you to be a leader. And the title of my research is Picture Perfect: Competencies of Educational Leaders from the Selected Colleges and Universities in the Philippines Towards a Proposed Leadership Development Plan. Okay. But I changed this leadership development plan. I changed it to leadership model. Okay, so this is not a development plan anymore. It's a leadership model. And later on, you can see the model that I have created based on the result of my study. Then, when you are again to talk about leadership or leaders, it's leadership equiper. Yes, we are an equiper of knowledge. We are the equiper of information and strength, of course, to our subordinates. So we must have a very good attitude towards people. We must have a very good attitude in solving problems and issues. We have to be neutral in everything. And we are to be, or we are supposed to be a dreamer. We need to dream on how to do something to make our department or organization the best department or organization, not just in Manila or in the Philippines, but of course in the world. So we are trying to help that particular organization attain its goals and objectives for us to say that we are empowering and we are helping organization to achieve their dreams as a leader. And as a leader, you have to have excellence in all aspect. Excellence means you are not just good in what you are doing, you are not just good in management and leadership, but you are also good in dealing with people, especially talking to people, listening to people. That's a good leader. Okay? And leader should have a very good relationship with the rest of the people in the organization. And I hope that these qualities of a leader should be um, imbibed by all leaders that we have here this evening. So you could be the best leader that you can. A leader is one who knows the way, goes the way, and shows the way, according to John Maxwell. Okay? Then I want to seek in this study, I want to seek the true image of a leader. My purpose here is to get the real picture of a leader. What really a leader is. So I want to capture the real picture of a leader. That's the purpose of my study. leader in educational setting, of course. I am searching for leaders who can think. So I'm looking for a leader who can think, act, and model like a true leaders. Because as what I have mentioned a while ago, there are leaders who are just called leaders because of the position, but they don't act leader as leaders actually in that particular organization. They don't know how to lead. They don't know what to do. A lot of people are doing that. Yeah, they love to be there, but they don't know what they are doing. Okay, so that's something that we have to change in leadership. Alongside with these gifts, okay, I, the researcher, searches for strategic thinkers, go organizers, and action planners, which are very essential for the delivery of the leader's vision, strategy, and management. So these are just some of the characteristics that I am looking from a leader, a go or strategic thinker, go organizer, and action planner. A leader should always be using or should always use strategic thinking on how to do this, how to do that, what should be done, and what should be the right thing to do in this particular issues or problems in the organization. Another one, so I'm using, and in my study, I use the competency based assessment. Okay, this is a 360-degree instrument. I use it to get the real picture or the true image of a perfect leader. So these are the questions that I posted in my problems. What is the profile of the respondents in terms of job description? So I'm looking first the job description. Okay, are they leading the organization? And if they are, then how long have they been in the academy as leader? And as not probably as leader, or probably how long they have been in the academy since then, the very first day that they enter the academy. So it's going to be counted because that those are one of the factors that we have to consider in looking at the real picture of the leader. Then another one is, what are the competency skills of educational leaders in terms of leading the organization? So we are going to look at now the competency skills of a particular leader in leading the organization, leading the self, and leading others. Remember that I'm using, or I used 360-degree leadership assessment instrument. So they have to also assess themselves wisely as how do they lead themselves in a particular organization. Then based on the results, what is the perfect image of educational leaders? And what leadership development plan should be proposed or development? Again, I changed this to leadership model that I should propose. Now, this is the so-called conceptual framework. So this is my conceptual framework. So I have there on top educational leaders. So it's a question mark because I still have to look for the right leader in educational system. Then on the second part, we have the competency skills of an educational leader, and these are the leading the organization, leading the self, leading others. These are the key factors that I have to consider in assessing leaders in my study. So these are also part, the leading organization, leading the self, and leading others. These are also part of the 360-degree leadership assessment tool. Okay, under which we have leadership inventory tool for an educational leader. So that's the tool that I am using, the 360 degrees. So I applied it for me to be able to get this area in leading the organization. How do they lead the self and how do they lead others? Then I computed for the result of the LTO, or leading the organization. I computed the result for leading the self, and I computed the result for leading others. And after which, I authenticated their responses. Okay, I authenticated their responses by using informants. Okay, I use informants. These people are not part of the respondents. They're not part of the we call it subject of the study. These are also leaders, but they came from the other school, which was not a part of the study. So I informed them that I should be interviewing them based on the result of my assessment on my particular subject. Then these are what we call informants. So they have to authenticate or justify whether the responses of those leaders who were chosen as part of the study are really correct, and these are true based on their own assessment as informants. Okay, so I have there the result of the study, and then I ask people to authenticate that for me to be able to get the picture of a leader as the output of my study. So I got 57 deans and chairs and three main clusters of leading the organization, leading the self, and leading others. These are the categories where I have to give focus on interviewing and assessing these 57 deans and program chairs. Then this study is descriptive only. So I use descriptive design for this study. And okay, I could not make this as bigger so that you can see, but I know it's not, but just I just want to show to you this instrument that I use. So the instrument design, the leadership inventory tool is a series of statements and reflective questions that offer insights into one's leadership image. So all those texts here are part of the leadership inventory tool. So it's a little bit smaller because I cannot make it bigger so that you can see. So the steps is I administer the tool, collate the data, present the results to the of the quantity data, or verification and validation of results through interviews, then present a new result after the validation. So these are the steps which I have done. And for leading the organization, so these are the components. And number one in the leading for organization, so we have there a tie between having great sense of urgency, and the other one is at the bottom, which I cannot say. Okay, creating and leading the culture of innovation. So these two, they got on the spot number one, and it's followed by number three, which is exercising a good degree in planning. So according to them, this is number two. You have to as a leader, they have to exercise a great degree in planning, and which is very true, because for leaders, we have to have always do planning, presenting what we have planned. We have the mid-year report of what happened to our department and what are the problems conspired in that specific time, what are the most challenging problems that we encountered. Those are things that we need to really look into and give considerations for us to be able to improve a particular department in the organization. Like in our case, because I am the chair of the English department of the College of Education, so our concern is how to make our students top the licensure exam. That's our concern. though we have a very good result in the national, in the licensure exam, we are much higher than the national passing percentage. But we still have to make our students stop the board exam. We produce top ninth placer in the licensure exam, and it's hard for us to produce rank 1 or 2 3 4 5 in the licensure exam. Probably it's because of students behavior, students factor na din. No? Students factor could be one why students are not really hitting the top one spot in the licensure examination, because students now are too busy for something. They don't have much time in studying and reviewing, and they are very busy doing something. They are so preoccupied of everything that even if we are going to give a free in-house review, then a few students only are attending the in-house review. I don't know why. So that's one of the problems that we have to look into and find a solution. Why students are not attending our in-house review for licensure exam when it's already for free? So I would be probably conducting a study again based on the results of the attendance and the result of a turnout of our mock board exam for our uh, in in-house review. So it's a good study, it's a good research, so that we would look into what happened, why students are not coming, why students are not attending, and why is it that during the MAC let exam, a very few students pass the MAC let exam. So it's one thing that we have to deal with and look into, because that's a very bad indication. Because if it's going to happen every time we're going to give the MACLET review or MACLET examination, and if that happens again and again, that would be a bad indication. It means that these students would have a chance to be failed, or to get a very um, low score during the licensure exam. So we have to do something about it. Then for leading the self, which is really very important for leaders, we must know, as leaders, we must know how to lead ourselves. So number one there is thinking before acting. Okay, so we have to think first before we act on something. Do not act immediately. Weigh the situation first. What happened? Do not, as leaders, do not pinpoint your fingers on somebody. When something resulted in a very negative way, then do not pinpoint your fingers on somebody. Just look at what happened. Why this particular event or thing did not succeed, no? So we have to look at the process. What happened there? But do not say it's the fault of this person. It's your fault. It's your fault. No, it's not good for a leader. We have to look at the process. We have to look at what happened, why it failed, but never pinpoint your fingers on somebody and make or blame that person of what happened. Okay, even if you think that this person is the cause of this thing, but do not pinpoint your fingers on that person, because that could give a very bad effect to the person. Instead of doing that, try to investigate what happened, why these things happen, why we get failed in this area, what happened. Okay, so that's a good leader. And number two there in leading the self is leading by example. As leaders, you have to lead by example. Act what you are teaching to your subordinates. Okay, you have to act it out. Do not just tell them to do this, to do that. Well, in fact, you're not doing it yourself. Okay? So you have to be the model. Then number three, according to the respondents, we have valuing humor in workplace, which is very important. As a leader, you have to value humor. Do not be too serious most of the time. Try to be humorous. Try to talk to your people. Try to sometimes, laugh together with them. Do not seclude yourselves inside your office, but try to get out from your office and mingle with your people. Okay, number four, according to the leaders, gathering inputs from others and decision making. So, leaders, according to them, should listen, no? Gather inputs from the other people in the organization and, listen to them before you could make your decision. Okay, make your decision after you gathered inputs. And number five, according to them, handling pressures on the position. So yeah, the position is full of pressures. That is why problem is how you are going to manage yourself and others by making pressures into something positive. Okay? So if you are too pressured, do not allow people to feel and see you that you are panicking. Relax. Talk to people again. Or you might be probably, you want probably to go to a coffee shop and then breathe in, breathe out, enjoy your coffee, and then once you are relaxed, then you may go back to your office and face again whatever problems you have there in a very calm manner. Okay, that's leading the self. And we should practice that, not just leaders, but people, ordinary people like we are, like teachers here. I know that teachers are having such pressure and problems in terms of uh, students' behavior. Yeah, it's one of the best problems that teachers could encounter. Students' behavior, then leaders' behavior, because I know some of the public school teachers, if we have public school teachers here now, I know that you have problems with your colleagues, with your principals, and other people inside your school. So not just students, but of course the main stressors that we could have are our students, specifically their behavior. Okay. Next one, we have leading others. How are we going to lead others as a leaders? So number one here, which is according to them is very or extremely important for leaders, is meeting staff regularly. So regularly, you are going to meet your people, your teachers, your subordinates. You have to meet with them regularly to look for updates and ask also their opinion on something, because these people could help you. If you are a leader, your subordinates could help you a lot in terms of decision making, and of course lighten up, not just in terms of decision making, but to lighten up your day and to lighten up your mind in terms of decisions. So you could always talk to your subordinates. Okay, another one is extremely important also, according to them, is delegating task. Okay. As leader, as a leader, you have this power to delegate task to your people. You need to distribute jobs to your people. Like for instance, if you are in our case, for instance, in college, we have coordinators, like coordinators for community outreach. We assign coordinators for alumni. These are teachers. These are teachers. Okay. Aside from teaching, they are also given tasks as coordinators. But once they are assigned as coordinators for a particular area, then they will be given, or they will be deloaded with 3 unit subjects. So they will, if we have 18 units in one term, so minus 3 units. So they're only teaching 15 hours a week instead of 18. Okay? Then that is delegating tasks. That is very, very important. Any task that you could delegate to your teachers could be very, very helpful. And for teachers who will be given a chance to be a coordinator, like for example, of community outreach, because we are now obligated to have community outreach. And if you will be given a task of being a coordinator of research, then you have to accept that, because all teachers now in the Philippines are required to conduct research as part of their promotion, even in the public school. I know in the public school, they are also obliged to do a research, because if they want to be promoted, research, I guess, correct me if I'm wrong later on, for those teachers in the Philippines and for those teachers who are from the other side of the globe. Correct me if I'm wrong. No? Okay, so teachers in the Philippines are now encouraged to conduct research as part of their promotion. And in college, like the National University, we are encouraged to do research for also as part of our, or one of the factors for our ranking system. So once you have conducted a study, and then you have published a study, you have presented your study, and you publish that in Scopus, for instance. Scopus is very a big, it's a big term now in the national university. So everybody should be encouraged to publish their work in Scopus publication. Okay? So we have to always be very accepting in terms of tasks that were delegated to us. Okay? Then number 3, according to them, is celebrating as a team. So once something, achieve or accomplish in the organization, we have to celebrate as a team. We have to always gather our people and celebrate as a team. So normally in the Philippines, what we do is, we order food and then we eat together as one big happy family in that particular um, department. So we eat together, we discuss things, and so on. So we tell jokes from one another, we laughed, and so on and so forth, to forget stress from time to time. So we do that in the Philippines. Okay. Then number 4, developing approaches for his staff. So we have to also design training materials for our staff, like our teachers and our non-teaching staff in the office. So we have to design training materials. Normally, we do that at National University. We do that every Wednesday, because at the National University in Manila, we don't have a class on Wednesday, because we are trying to consider the mental health of everybody. So Wednesday for students, it's a free day, no assignment, no other things to do, but they have to relax on Wednesday. And teachers are free to either to come to school or to attend a virtual seminars or training, or if the management or the school office officials are requesting us to be at school on a Wednesday for a particular training, then we have to do that. At least we are not teaching on Wednesday. Okay? So we do everything on Wednesday, training, seminar, and whatever. Sometimes we don't do things on a Wednesday because no training, no seminar, but we are in school just to to have a short chit chat with our colleagues. It's time for us to bind together, and we normally ask or invite people, let's go somewhere to eat, let's go somewhere to have a coffee, or we eat outside. That's the time for us to be together on a Wednesday. Okay? Then number five, let's have only five. Giving staff positive feedback. So feedbacking is very important for a leader. You have to constantly give feedback to your staff, to your non-teaching and to your teaching staff. Like for example, if you are going to observe classes like what I am doing. I do class observation. Then right after that, I have to call the attention of the teacher and inform the teacher what conspired, what I um, have seen or experienced inside this class. What are the things that he needs to improve. Okay, but do not tell that person that is bad, you are bad on this one is not good, you were wrong in this. It's not the way we are going to evaluate people. So whether we have seen teachers during the class observation that the teacher, for instance, were not able to really present this, or this was the way the teacher asked questions was wrong, and especially giving feedback to students, you know, the teacher were not able to really give his feedback to the question of the students, or was able to give a wrong answer to the items being asked by the student. You don't have to tell them it's wrong. You could probably pinpoint that you have to review this part because I guess there's something wrong with this. No? Okay, so review that and try to tell that person on how to improve his teaching styles and what pedagogical method should be used by the teacher probably in that kind of lesson and that kind of learners, and probably try to also prepare a very interactive a lesson like debate, role playing, for instance, and ask students to really participate in the class discussion. Okay, so these are the things now that we need to sometimes inform teachers during um, class observation. So that's one way of giving feedback to our teachers. Otherwise, if we're not going to give feedback to our teachers, teachers will not improve in terms of teaching styles. And the most important thing is that how they construct assessment, how they prepare assessment. There are teachers who are really creating much problems in terms of assessment preparation. Okay. They don't, some teachers, they forget to go back to their learning outcomes or to their objectives in the preparation of assessment tool. So they tend to forget that, oh, I have something there in my objectives or learning outcomes that I have to following my assessment tool. And we have to do that most of the time. Go back again to our learning, intended learning outcomes before we decide on what kind of assessment are we going to prepare for students to work on. Okay. So according to some leaders, that's very important to give feedback, positive feedback to our staff. Okay. Then this is a qualitative inquiry. The questions were as follows. Tell me, these are actually the questions which I posted on the informants, the one who will authenticate the responses of the leaders. This, as what again I mentioned a while ago, does that the informants were people or leaders, deans and program chairs and coordinators coming from the other school, the school uh, which are not actually part of the study. Okay, so they were considered to be informants. So tell me something about the three clusters presented in the ILO. So this is the question which I posted there. And then the result in the quantitative part showed that there are 11 dominance competency skills revealed and retorted by the response. Do you agree or disagree with this? So I just asked them if they agree to what conspired in the result and so on. Okay, now these are the findings. No, meeting the staff regularly. These are in random. Okay, so meeting the staff regularly, delegating tasks to their staff, celebrating as a team, having great sense of urgency, creating and leading the culture of innovation, giving their staff positive feedback, thinking before doing an action, envisioning for the organization, involving themselves in strategic planning, leading by example, and valuing humor. So we have 11 characteristics that this study, uh, gathered from the respondents. And this is now the model. I call this model as based on the result. These are based on the result. So um, I call this model as diamond leadership model. So this is a diamond leadership model. So we have there the most important qualities of a leader that conspired that really conspired during the assessment of leaders, and based on the authentication of the informants. So these are the results. So valuing you more, envisioning by lead by example, giving feedback, thinking as before acting, strategic planning, sense of urgency, culture of innovation, positive feedback, celebrating as a team, delegating tasks, and meeting the staff regularly. These are now the characteristics of the leader that conspired during the study. And why diamond? You might be asking, why diamond leadership model? Okay. So diamonds are formed at a very high pressures and temperatures. The carbon atoms are squeezed so much that they start touching more atoms. When the pressure is about 50,000 times the pressure of the surface of the earth and the temperature is about 1600 degrees, the carbon atoms bound with one another with four atoms and results in diamond. So that's how diamond emerged. No, it's not an easy job of our nature to create a diamond. Diamond is not like stone that it's very easy. It could happen in a second, in a day, in a month, but diamonds has to undergone a very tedious forming, a very difficult process for the diamond to be created, just like leaders. So leaders are like diamonds. They undergo a lot of training and pressures for them to become the most valuable and excellent leaders. They are being hardened to the test of time. Just like diamonds, leaders can be the toughest and the strongest version of themselves. They are the product of hard work, commitment, and experience. So this is why I come up with a leadership diamond model, because I compare leaders to a diamond. Okay? So I hope it's clear to you. So my recommendations, it is recommended that educational leaders may develop and strengthen the competencies in having great sense of urgency and creating and leading the culture of innovation further to the organizations to realize its objective. Number two, it is also recommended that educational leaders may give high regards to thinking before acting, leading by example, valuing humor in workplace, and gathering inputs from others and decision making for him to able to balance himself being a leader and a follower, as well as for him to make a sound decision in leading the organization. And number three, it is firmly recommended that educational leaders be give focus and develop the competencies such as soliciting feedback, accepting ownership from team decision, and seeking for answers in leading the self by making himself aware of the most significant characteristics of a true leader through attending leadership seminars, trainings, and symposia. And number four, it is likewise recommended that educational leaders may further strengthen the competencies in meeting staff regularly, delegating tasks, celebrating as a team, and developing approaches for his staff in leading others for him to guide others in realizing the goals of the organization. And lastly, number five, with these competency skills, the researchers would like to propose a leadership program or leadership model that will strengthen the skills of educational leaders as one of the objectives of this study. So I propose a diamond leadership model for me to be able to ask leaders to come up with trainings and use this diamond leadership model as one of the structure or features in leadership training that they are going to do. Okay, this picture perfect competencies of educational leaders from 15 selected colleges and universities in the Philippines towards a proposed leadership model was published at the Southeast Asian Conference on Education last March 29, 2023, and part of the official conference proceedings with DOI number blah blah blah, and it is an ISSN number blah blah blah. Okay, so just sharing my study, and thank you very much for listening. Thank you, everyone. Any question? Hello, madam. I'm done. Oh, yeah, we're actually 1 hour. Oh, we have people from CDO.
Thank you so much, sir, for a rich content presentation which can affect our knowledge seeker surely. After your presentation, I hope our knowledge seeker can learn something new which was our only intention. Learn and grow together, IGP Knowledge Seeker. Once again, thank you so much, sir, for your presentation. Now, sir, it's time for a question answer session, which is the one more valuable part of our regular webinar. Honorable sir, please stay with us. After a short video, we will back in our session part 2, which is the question answer part. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a Welcome back, sir. Welcome back to our participant. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Dear IGP Knowledge Seeker, please ask your question in the comment box as much as you want to know from our speaker. Thank you. After question answer, we have a webinar certification and online quiz competition. Sir, our first question is from Kingway. Sir, do we consider the style of leadership?
Sir, do we consider the style of leadership? Okay, yes, yes. We have to always consider the style of leadership. That's very important for us. We should not just forget that we are leaders, and we have to consider the style of how we lead the organization. Okay, and when in terms of leadership style, we have a lot of leadership styles. No, autocratic, authoritarian. We have the pace seating, democratic coaching, and laissez-faire. So these are, we have also other forms of leadership. Now it's up to you on how you are going to, which leadership style are you going to adopt in your particular organization. Okay? What leadership you are going to adopt, which you think will work in your organization. So it's up to you. Nobody would tell you that you have to adapt this leadership style, but it's up to you. Just look at the leadership style, review the leadership style, and if you think you are that kind of person being stated in that particular leadership style, then you could probably use that in your organization, depending on the kind of leader you are. But do not use it if you think you are not that kind of leader. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your answer. So there is no more questions from our participants. So once again, thank you so much, sir, for your time in IGP. We have learned a lot from you with new topic. It will add some value to our day-to-day activity along with our academic and professional growth. Honorable sir, hope to see you again with a new topic and a new date. Thank you, sir. Take care.
Yes, thank you so much. And I guess I still have four or three. Three topics, no four. Am I correct? Yes, three topics for this year. So I still have to I still have to discuss on, probably this June 2, I have to talk on reflective teaching. That's June 2. And for another schedule that is March 24, I'll be talking about the body system. And the last one, that would be August 11, 2024, I'll be talking about Kaizen. Okay, so wait for that and kindly join us also during those times if you want to know about Kaizen, if you want to know how to become a reflective teacher, and if you want to know about body system, how you're going to apply this in your organization, then come and join us on those dates. Thank you so much and good evening, everyone.
Honorable sir, before we move to the next, if you want to leave this studio, you can. Dear IGP Knowledge Seek is time for the most engaging part of this webinar, which is an online quiz competition, which is our regular webinar activity. We change a few processes for online quiz competition. Note that after live, no one can participate. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. Now, time for the online quiz competition. To join the online quiz competition properly, please follow my instruction carefully. For some technical problem, we cannot continue the quiz session from our website. So the join the quiz session, you have to go www.slido.com and the code is 2794704. I repeat the code 2794704. After a short video, we will start our quiz session. right now. Our first question is Penny painted a picture of a perfect place. Is it option 1 or option 2? Option 2 is the right answer. 25% people are right here. Our second question is this is a picture of pumpkins. Is it true or false? Option 1 is the right answer. 78% people are right here. Our third question is bracket 6x minus 1 bracket 6x plus 1 is an example of a perfect square. Is it true or false? Option 2 is the right answer. 26% people are right here. Our fourth question is 2x plus 7, 7x plus 2 is an example of a perfect square. Is it true or false? Option 2 is the right answer. 42% people are right here. Fifth question is this picture is a perfect representation of, is it option 1 or option 2? Option 1 is the right answer. 70% people are right here. Sixth question is this is a perfect picture of option 1 me, option 2 Donald Trump's, but here. Option 2 is the right answer. 30% people are right here. Seventh question is this is a perfect picture of option 1 you, option 2 what happened when they're sold. Option 2 is the right answer. 63% people are right here. Eighth question is opposite of perfect as a picture. Option 1 look a slide. Option 2 catch patata. Option 1 is the right answer. 70% people are right here. Second last question of the session is this is a perfect picture of option 1 true love, option 2 love, hate relationship. Option 1 is the right answer. 65% people are right here. Our last and final question of the session is faith is not a Phase is not to have a perfect knowledge of all things. Is it true or false? Option 1 is the right answer. 90% people are right here. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalizing the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. Congratulations to our online quiz competition in top 10. Congratulations again. We will take a few minutes for finalize the result. After that, we will issue our online quiz competition certificate on our official Facebook page and group Institute of Global Professional. At the end of our session, we can say properly fit your skill, never stop learning, cause life never stop teaching us. Be happy, stay safe, see you again and again. We want your participation in every program. If you want to live a happy life, try to go to people of things, Albert Einstein. Before I start, hit the like button. Again, want to thank all IGP knowledge seeker for your active participation as always. See you again in the next session. Thank you.